like I said, at least if you show up in most of the feast days, we're going to have something for you to eat. Now, I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll have something because, I know a lot of times people's schedules are what they are, but I'm telling you, and I'm not just talking to us, I'm talking about the entire family of believers. We have, and some of it has been done subtly, but I'm telling you, a lot of us, we got our lives here, and we got the Most High just under that, and that's dangerous. That's why for some of us, it may be the thing you've been praying for and going, and he's saying, hey, get you and yours off the throne so that I can sit down. And I'm telling you, man, sometimes you talk to saints and you share something with them, and they'll tell you and won't think twice. Well, I got to do this, and this. And I'm like, wow, okay. Okay. We've forgotten that people are the main thing. Souls are the main thing. That's dangerous. All right, Judges 6 and 7. I'm gonna start reading out of a familiar version, or translation, I should say. And this is about Gideon. But see if it doesn't apply even to today. Of course, really, the trick is most people that have the opportunity to share the word, it's full of stuff that the same sentiment can be applied even today. And a lot of what we read in that, it's really for sometimes we read it like it's a story. Sometimes we read it like it's a movie or a documentary. But really, a lot of it is in there so that we don't make the same mistake. But we tend to do exactly what we read about. And a lot of times, we say, 613 laws or instructions? It's some do's and it's some don'ts. If he say don't, why do we do? We all remember, even little kids, don't touch that stove hot. They tell you don't touch it. We want to touch it. In 6, let me just read. It says, Judges 6 and 7. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. And the hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains and caves and strongholds. And so it was, when Israel had sown, the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites and the children of the east, even they came up against them. And this is what, when I read this, I always think about believers. We at the beach, we got our blanket out there, our kids playing with the beach ball or whatever, and we having a good time, and here comes some bullies. And they take the beach ball. Now, for certain kind of believers out there, it's going to be a fight. But the way we've been taught, we'll say, well, you know, that's all right. I'll get you another beach ball. That's the way we've been taught. Now, I understand, although some sisters will get up and they'll go get that ball. Some of the brothers, it's disappointing. And I'm not advocating violence or fighting or anything like that, but sometimes as believers, we just need to speak up and say, yo, See, what's in the world is for us. Yes, all of us are the creation of the Most High, but only those that are following his instructions are the children of the Most High. Let me say that again. Everybody you see is the creation of the Most High. I'm talking about mankind right now. But only those that are following his instructions are the children of the Most High. And so we don't have to let people kick sand in our face. We don't have to do that. It's not all right that they cheat us in business, sell us substandard product. That's not okay. And so it was the Midianites, the Amalekites, the children of the east, all of them came up against Israel. And it says, and they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth. In other words, they came in, took what they wanted out their garden. Oh, boy. I mean, they just, I'm not going to, I know I'm in church. They chumped us. I'll put it that way. And a lot of people, well, the Bible says, I'll come in peace. Well, if somebody come in your home and they not coming in peace, I hope you're going to do more than get your Bible out and start reading verses. But it's the way we've been taught. And they encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth till thou come unto Gaza and left no sustenance for Israel, neither sheep nor ox nor donkey. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came as grasshoppers for the multitude, for both they and their camels were without number. In other words, there was a whole lot more of them than the little Israel. And instead of keep saying Israel, because that place is in turmoil, as we all know, and we also know why to some degree, and I don't want to get into that, but they have their own problem. But I'm saying in terms of what I'm bringing to you, think of us as the Israel. Because, like I said, we've done well here. Remember, we were exiled here. Those that came before us were exiled here. And now, and this is what I think about. Can you imagine what those that, now I'm talking about the ones that got exiled here, if they saw us today, even in a setting like this, of course it would look strange to them. But I mean, we're in exile and he's not happy with us, but most of us, we living pretty good. We living pretty daggone good. Now, some of us want more, and some of us gonna always want more. But the Amalekites and the Midianites, that's the equivalent of them coming in, parking your driveway, get out, walk on your grass, going in your flower garden, picking up flowers that they like. And we just sitting there like, well, that's all right. I wish they had ass. And then we go with, God must have wanted them to have it. Remember the 12 spies, Joshua and Caleb, and 10 of them said, what? We like grasshoppers in their eyes. And what did the Most High say? He said, go and you go possess the land. What that sound like? It sound like to me, he said, Barry, I'm giving you this land, now you go get it. And he wasn't good. Well, you know now, I'm a child of the Most High. God said for you to give me that land. But see, that's how some of us come off. It's sickening, man. It's weak. And again, I'm not saying you got to walk up to somebody, punch them in the nose. I'm not saying it like that. But people need to know, don't cross me. And you're not saying that of your own strength. And we're going to get into that. Because Gideon really was not a combative type of fella. But the messenger of the Most High said, Gideon, thou mighty man of valor. Man, and see, saints, the more docile we are, the more crazy stuff gonna keep happening. Again, I'm not saying walk and go to the store and you got your shotgun in your left hand and a grenade in your right. I'm not saying that. But the believers, we got to begin to stand up and be more visible. Be more visible in the doing, not in the talking. For they came up with their cattle and their tents, and they came also as grasshoppers, for the multitude, for both they and their camels were without number. And they entered into the land to destroy it. Can you imagine? You got salmon, you got steak, you got 2 chill glasses of wine, and you and your significant other, or you and your family, y'all getting ready to sit down to a dinner. And somebody gonna kick your front door in, come in, blow their nose, and then reach in your plate, grab your steak. What you gonna do? I'm gonna start praying. Okay, all right. You go ahead and pray. By the time you finish praying, they done ate all your food. It's all right. I bet you this. The one that prepared that meal, they gonna get the fighting. And brothers, when she move, you better get in front of her and you better come strong. And then listen to this. It says, and Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. Now remember in the beginning, what did the beginning chapter say? And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord delivered them into the hand of Midian 7 years. It started out, so we as believers, we was living some shoddy kind of lives. We weren't living lives that pleased him. So he said, all right. Yeah, you can get that. Yeah, you can get that perfect, that automobile you've had your eye on all the time. Wait till you got to take it in for maintenance. Oh, this really ruined my day yesterday. I went to get the, I'm trying to use what I got and stop, I'm standing up here telling you all, watch your finances, budget, do this, do that. So I said, you got clothes and stuff in there with the tag still on it. You done had them about 2-3 years. And so I said, winter's coming. It's getting ready to get fall. And why don't you start getting some of this stuff? Get some tailoring because, they say fit is everything, So I took 2 jackets and a pair of slacks to do the alterations. I just need the sleeves shortened on 2 of them. And, I went in there and I already know I'm going to go somewhere else with the next thing. But the lady was pinning me up and stuff, and she was like, well, you don't want to hear? I said, listen, the proper way this thing is supposed to do, your sleeve is supposed to stay out about maybe a 1/4 inch. I said, that's the proper way to do it. She should have known that. But see, I already knew. I said, well, no, you in here because you thought you'd get a deal, so just shut up. So she said, okay. So she pinned it up and everything. And then she got the other one. And then she was filling out the ticket. So while she was filling out the ticket, she never did look me in my face when she was writing the ticket. She just said, that'll be $50 per garment. Just to, and look, these are casual type jackets. They don't even have buttons on them. Now I could see if you got to remove the buttons and do all that, I said, that's $25 a sleeve. Now, of course, I thought I had on a cute outfit yesterday and I'm riding in one of my cars. So what do you think your pastor said? No, he didn't. He should have left out of there. He said, okay. And all day yesterday, I fussed at myself. In fact, I called a couple of y'all to see if you could do that. Because I said, well, I'd rather have gave the money to so-and-so and so-and-so, And of course I could, well, no, I can't call Sherry because she still got some pants of mine and ain't got them back to me yet. But be that as may. But I said, when I got in the car, I said, $50? And then she said, well, what about the slacks? I said, I took the slacks. Because some stuff I can do myself. I can hem them, stuff like that. And I can do little stuff. But, I figure stuff like this is, you got to know what you're doing. Now, I said that to say this. You're right, Azetta. I should have walked out. I should have walked out. And saints said, listen, when you're not getting the counter service or you're not getting the service or something ain't right, don't take it. So I'm fussing at me as well as, and I'm not really fussing at you. I'm just trying to show you how people do believers any old kind of way. Now, I've already resolved. I said, well, you know what? Either way, because you went ahead and you agreed to have it done, I said to myself, what if I get it and it's jacked up? What am I going to do? Am I just going, oh, thank you? Because I'm telling y'all now, I'm not, even if it's perfect, I'm not going back there no more. And I got a lot of other stuff that I need, you know, altered, tailored, yeah. But I said to myself, well, what did you agree to that for? You know, see, saints, we get to where, I don't want to be a bother. If you spending your money, they supposed to make a fuss over you. You go to the restaurant, everybody else get in about 15 minutes, you got to wait almost an hour. Now, some of us, we know, if you know you can really go off, you should remain calm. But if you know that you really are pretty, level-headed, we need to speak up more is what I'm saying. We need to stop letting people do us any kind of way. It said, and Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites, and the children of Israel cried unto the Lord. That's in verse 6. In verse 1, what did it say? And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. And then that's how we do. We keep our schedule. Well, I got this problem in my family, and only I can work this out. Well, he can work all of it out. I can't help you with that. I got to do this. I got to do that. We got to do this. We got to go here. We got to do we. And we ain't French. Y'all didn't catch that. I'm saying to you, folks, we have put our lives on top. And everything else works around that, including, unfortunately, the Most High, the one that created you and gave you access to or gave to you everything you got, including your breath and life. How can we say, just a minute, I'm dealing with this now. I'll make some time for you a little later if I don't fall asleep. I remember a lot of times pastor used to set us up. We didn't even know it. We'd be in staff meeting, and everybody had a whole laundry list of excuses as to why they couldn't get stuff done. And pastor used to sit there and listen, and he let you hang yourself. And a lot of people didn't never realize that's what he was doing. They thought, oh, he's so nice. He let you hang yourself. No, he let us hang ourselves. You got it some, I got it all the time. And I know people, oh, he was so this, he was that. Yeah, and he was all of that. But just because he smiled doesn't always mean he was happy. And it came to pass when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord because of the Midianites, that the Lord sent a prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. And I delivered you out of the land of the Egyptians and out of the hand of all that oppressed you. So the Most High saying, yeah, all you, what do they call them? They call them foundational, I think, Black Americans, and then African descendants of slavery. I think those are two groups that's trying to get reparations for people that look like me. And so it's as if the Most High is saying to, okay, all of you that came over here that I exiled in America, I still got your ancestors out of the land of Egypt. And I delivered them out of bondage. And I put you over here, and you struggling. Yeah, we were struggling for a while. Those that went before us really struggled. Look at us now, though. Look, I mean, seriously, look at us now. Man, you know, if they were starting a football team, probably none of us would be invited for the trial. You know why? We ain't tough enough. We talk tough. But I'm going to tell you, man, you're going to find one time it's not much in some circles. But with the advent of streaming and all the other lines of communication, it can prove troublesome for you. And I delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, out of the hand of all that oppressed you, and drove them out before you, and gave you their land. See? Now, a lot of us, when I see Coach back there, because I know he probably ready to stand up and shout. He said, yeah, but Barry, we're supposed to get 40 acres and a mule, which was promised. 40 acres and a mule was promised. We didn't get it. And again, I wasn't throwing shade on those groups. I'm just trying to make an analogy about what we're reading here and how it applies to us today. That's the only reason I brought that up. And drove them out from before you and gave you their land. And I said unto you, listen to what he said to us. He says, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. He's saying, yeah, y'all come over here. I sent you over here. You didn't have a good trip. Some people didn't even make the trip. And as the generations went on, we begin to, and I'm going to borrow Pastor Hodge's term, we begin to assimilate. We begin to do what we saw other folk doing. And yeah, we start going to church. And we start doing, again, what we saw them do. And we start studying from the material that we were given. And even if you look back at some films, you could see where even with the slaves, when they were having church, there was somebody standing up before the people teaching, and there was a slave master sitting over there critiquing the teaching. And of course, we grew up from that. And so now we've evolved to where now, man, there's, some of us living in palatial estates, got our nice garden. And I'm not knocking none of that. But do you ever think sometimes about those that went before you, what they would think when we're too busy? We don't have enough. I can't do that. No, you can't count on me for that. And let me say this. I appreciate you telling me up front, I can't. Rather than, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. And so then you lie and have me thinking I can count on you, and then you don't show up. Because you didn't want to hurt my feelings. Tell me the truth. That's all. The Most High, see the thing about it, even if those that you think you can count on, when you can't count on them, he always have a ram in the bush. He always, last week, one sister was talking about how she was doing for her family, which is, again, that's what we're supposed to be doing. But she had a situation. She was like, hey, Father, hey, I'm doing what I can. I'm being who I am. I'm a sister. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. And I'm trying to, that's who I am. Who's going to help me? And he said, hey, daughter, don't sweat it. Call your friend. One sister communicated something to another, and the other sister said, hey, listen, I can do that for you. And then that was good, but even better was she showed up and got it done, I'm assuming. And see, that's the way, what Pastor Hodge was talking about this morning, that's the way we should be with each other. Our word need to mean something with each other. And he did, I care first about EWC. Don't mean I don't care about the others. But I'm going to be honest with you. I got a pecking order for what that's worth. And I'm not saying that like I think I'm somebody. But all of us have a duty to the one that made us to be the best whatever he created you to be. And that's not your occupation. If you're a father, be the best father. If you're a grandfather, be the best grandfather. If you're a mother, be a good mother, a great mother. If you're a grandmother, be a great grandmother. That's who you are. If you're a sibling, be a good sibling. How many great athletes, and don't call no names, how many great athletes, great scientist, great doctor, horrible human being? You don't want that. You're more than what you do. If you're a son, be a good son. You're a daughter, be a good daughter. That's who you are until station change. Gideon, mighty man of valor. The Most High says, and I said unto you, I am the Lord your God. Fear not the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell, but ye have not obeyed my voice. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah that pertained unto Joash, that's Gideon's dad. And his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. So here again, this is what a lot of us do. A lot of us, we working. Sometimes you on your job and they, it's almost quitting time, and they'll go, well, John, can you help do this and do that? And you, like, man, you know, you don't work, and now it's time to get home, and then, but then, because he, well, okay, well, I can give you another 20 minutes. Everybody else going out the door. But a lot of times, because we believe, and I'm not, I was using him as an example, but as a believer, a lot of times people impose on us is what the point I'm trying to make. And we let them. We let them. Now, y'all know, I'm not saying don't do acts of kindness, acts of consent. We're supposed to. But we've gotten to where people just, they take us for granted. They just, oh, wait, you're a Christian, ain't you? And it's somehow they can always tell us how we supposed to behave. All the time. And folks, all I'm saying is we don't have to stand for that. Now, you know, now I'm not, listen, we don't need to be mean-spirited either. You know, don't be like me. Okay. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee, thy mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? Don't that sound like us? You know, I love the Lord, and I pray every day. Why is all this happening to me? I'll just point you back to the first verse. It says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and he delivered them into the hand of the Midian, of Midian 7 years. See, I can't live any kind of way all the time, lying to folk, tricking folk, and then, oh my gosh, Friday, oh good, we ain't got men's Bible study. Okay, well I got between now and in the morning, oh Lord, I repent. I stole Monday, I cheated somebody Tuesday, I lied Thursday, and then I'm gonna come in here. Thus saith the Lord. See, we can't do that. We got to be consistent. We got to be consistent. Folks, we got to do better. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Well, again, Gideon, go back to the beginning of the chapter. In other words, what I'm saying to us, saints, we can't live any kind of way. And then as soon as some consequences start, oh, Father. And I mean, hey, guilty. But we can't do that. And the Lord looked upon him and said, go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, this is us. Well, you know, this is us when somebody asks us for something. Because see, we come in and we look like $1 million, and we riding fine, and we got on fine threads, and as soon as somebody asks us for $5, we mad as I don't know. I can't go nowhere without somebody. Hey, listen, I told you the whole country is deficit spending. The government is deficit spending. What is deficit spending? That's spending money you don't have. And a lot of households in this country are deficit spending. Oh, I can just put it on my credit card. That's deficit spending. What? Yes. We shouldn't do that. And the Lord said unto him, surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. And he said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest with me. That's what Gideon said. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee and bring forth my present and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until ye come again. So the messenger was telling him, look, man, you gonna smite the Midianites yourself, you know. And so, you know, Gideon's thinking, God, man, I got to get in training, you know. Man, I'm out of shape. I'm from a poor family, and, you know, I got some brothers, but I'm the run of the family. And here's the point I'm making. The Most High knows exactly who he's calling upon. In this atmosphere, like I said, a lot of self-promotion is going on. People are talking about their ministry, their whatever, their gift, their ministry. It ain't yours. None of it's yours. We're being silly and we don't realize. Now, we think we're being deep. But everyone that he addressed felt inadequate because they were looking at themselves. See, Gideon was honest to himself about himself. Moses was honest to himself about himself. A lot of us are kind of delusional about ourselves. And that's why we make the kind of decisions we make. That's why we say some of the things out of our mouth to people that we should never say. Saints, I'm telling you, we can do the kingdom. We can do great works for the kingdom if we're honest with ourselves about ourselves. Because if we're honest with ourselves about ourselves, we can then be honest with others. But when you fooling yourself, what chance do the rest of us have? Think about that. Think about that. How many of us can look at ourselves in the mirror and not turn away? Have you ever been so low in life, you did something and for a minute that thing's still fresh in your mind, you didn't even want to look at yourself in the mirror? Because you knew you knew better. And you knew you shouldn't have given in, but you did anyway. And so when he gave that assessment, the messenger shot back at him, said, the Most High gonna be with you. And so Gideon said, well, okay, if it's you, well, wait here till I go get something, get a gift for you. And it says in 19, it says, and Gideon went in and made ready a kid and unleavened cakes, an ephah of flour. The flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out unto him under the oak and presented it. And the angel of Yah said unto him, take the flesh and the unleavened cakes and lay them upon this rock and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. So he was like, hey, if it's you, let me go get something and present it to you. And the messenger said, I'll wait. And so when he brought it, of course, it was consumed in fire, which back then was a sign that, hey, he's with you. Now remember, when the messenger approached him, he called him a mighty man of valor. And the thing that the church system has crossed us up that brings about this desire for self-promotion is we forgot Yah don't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. And so when you bend your neck to his instructions, sometimes he changes your name from Jacob to Israel, from Abram to Abraham. And we learned a long time ago, when he changes your name, it denotes a change in character. I'm not going to get very far today, but that's all right. But saints, now more than ever, we got to stand firm. We can't overly concern ourselves with how haywire things are, and things are haywire. Things are haywire. Well, what do? Stay on point. Get in line and follow instruction. March to his cadence. That's what we got to do. Yes, the world's going to lose its ever-loving mind. And I'm going to tell you something. They're going to try to drag you into this too. In fact, they're already doing it. If somebody asks you your opinion about it and you don't want to give it, don't give it. Sometimes it's a setup. It's a shame at the things that we make more important than following the instructions of the Most High. Saints, we got to toe the line now more than ever, and we really need to come together so that we will have one another's back. Because I'm telling you, the world is full of Fruit Loops. People are just crazy. They're living their truth. They care nothing about Torah. They care nothing about the laws of the land. Yeah, I think everybody is. I think most everyday people, believers and non-believers alike, are really fed up with how crazy things have gotten. And you know, I had said in times past about learning to recognize when genuine people come in your life. Because some of them not going to stay, but they'll come for a season. And genuine people are a blessing. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to close, but on one hand, a lot of talking can amass to nothing. But on the other hand, we've all seen that sometimes too much talking can be detrimental. And even though we have laws in place where, you know, they talk about, you know, freedom of speech and things of this nature, let us all, particularly those that are of the household of faith, let us choose our words carefully. Like I said earlier, just because somebody asks you your opinion, you don't have to give it. I'm not telling you not to speak up for yourself. That's not what I'm saying. But you where you can, if you sense something's not quite right, if you can, remove yourself from that situation. Even, you know, it's getting so now, even in crowded situations. Start giving some consideration to the things that you might think you might want to attend. With things, you know, unfortunately, this is another local election year, and you know we're being bombarded with a lot of stuff, and you know, there's going to be a lot of tough talk. You know, let us pursue peace. Let us pursue peace. And again, don't allow yourselves, if you can help it, don't allow yourselves to be dragged into something that may not concern you. And I don't mean if you can avoid heated discussions, do that. You know, because it's crazy. It's crazy. And let's keep an ear for the instruction. And let's have one another's back, and let's be honest with ourselves about ourselves, so that when we come to one another, we can answer one another honestly God bless you. We're gonna continue next week with this because I really want to get to when they were getting ready to go to war, and I will say this, and I really I'm gonna shut up. When the fight was getting ready to start, it was about 120,000 of the Midianites and all the bad guys. Gideon called some other people, and he had about 32,000. 32,000 versus 120,000. And the Most High told Gideon, you got too many. Come back next week, and we're going to find out how that thing played out. But that's going to have a direct correlation to what I was saying today, the things that I shared with avoiding tough conversations, if you can. Be slow to give your opinion. I know in this selfie and likes, and everybody got a podcast, and everybody wants to give their opinion about everything. Let's let them do that. Let's let them do that. Okay. Now what I want to do before we close, listen, if